Faith has a new frequency. The Spirit of Huntsville. KHSPLP, Huntsville, Texas. Spirit 94.3.
Snowmageddon.
Hey, was that you playing the harp in that intro there?
Yeah, it was. Did you like that?
That's pretty good. You've been taking those lessons.
Oh, pretty good.
Ding, 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 ding.
Snowmageddon.
Snowmageddon.
You ready for it, Billy?
No.
Did you know every time that they talk about like really bad winter weather, it never really happens? Have you noticed that?
I have some predictions for the stuff coming up, but I'm almost scared to share those predictions because if I'm wrong, then I'm surely going to be the butt of the town. So
Yeah, we'll keep it on the DL.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to always get to fix the headphone microphones. I just fixed yours, and it wasn't even it was a regular microphone.
You're so sweet.
Welcome in,
Did you
everybody.
knock the cat hair off of it?
Yeah, I had a few cat hairs. Boy, that cat hair gets everywhere, man.
You're telling me.
Welcome
We
in.
got Olivia a cat. I love that cat. That's it's Olivia's cat, but it's now my cat.
Was that a sarcastic? You love that cat, or you really
No,
do?
I really do. I mean, of course, I'm still referring to it as an inside dog because I'm not a cat person. But
Yeah,
when I get up in the morning, that cat, he's got to come see me.
I'm not a cat fan.
Same thing when I hit the door in the evening. Whatever that cat's doing, he's going to stop and he's got to come see Pawpaw.
Well, we are here with Pawpaw.
Yeah,
That's the Huntsville I remember.
yeah. I got grand dogs and grand cats.
Welcome in, everybody, as we get rolling. It is a faithful Friday here on January the 23rd, episode number 673 of Good Morning Huntsville. And we want to welcome you in. Hey, the text line is open if you're out listening on FM this morning, 94.3 in Huntsville. This first segment, about 15 minutes. We always air the first segment over the air, and then we go completely on social media after that. Underwriting support for this program is made possible in part by Elliott's Jewelers, their website, elliotsjewelers.com, and also Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, SHMFH.com. Joined as always
I know
on a
those
Friday.
people.
Yeah, I know them too. Yeah. Hey, joined as always on a Friday, not a Friday, but a Friday with Billy Cauthen, who is back from the cruise. Mm-hmm. Man, how was it? You look a little tan. You got a little red going on there. Red. I'm just saying, you really don't.
It's probably high blood pressure.
Yeah, you really don't. I noticed a little red in your eyes. And that red, what it was is your red mug reflecting off of your eyes.
Well, they said that to me last night. I went to get my hair cut, and they're like, oh, of course, I love those girls dearly up there, but they're always joking around. They're like, oh, you look slimmer. And I'm like, I don't know where you're looking.
I had some.
And then she's like, you look red. You look tan. And I'm thinking, it was an indoor cruise.
They had UV lights going on?
I guess. Well, anything's possible on Royal Caribbean.
Have you ever been Royal Caribbean before?
Yeah. Well, that was the first time we ever went. We've always gone Carnival in the past.
Yeah. That's a little more classy on that RC, right?
Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah,
But then when you say reckon, it kind of takes it back down.
I'm going to be a redneck wherever I'm at, so I can't help it. I'm not going to change who I am based on a zip code.
No, sir. Hey, we're bringing Huntsville to you.
That's right.
How's your family and them?
Yeah. How's your mom and them?
Yeah, that's what it is. How's your mom and them?
How's your mom and them?
Yeah, my buddy.
And that means something,
It does, man. My buddy Jeremy Wyan said that. He said, you always greet people, how's your mom and them? Mm-hmm. And then you told me that too. So that's two affirmations.
You got to check on mama before anybody else.
Well, we do want to check on all of you this morning. We hope you're off to a great start here on a Faithful Friday. I know weather is one of those things that a lot of folks are concerned about. We're praying for a good weekend. A lot of organizations are already starting to cancel some things. And, I used to be that guy that, why are they jumping the gun doing that? But, now as a dad with young children and a lot going on, I get it because you don't want to plan a bunch of stuff and then have to replan. And sometimes it's easier just to say, all right, we're going to not worry about this. We'll replan it for next week. And it's a whole different ballgame when you're up north in Fargo because they're not going to shut down. It's 20.
Used to it.
It's 20 below, and they're still open for business. And somebody when I was up there said, "Man, you guys in Texas, y'all are nuts. You close the schools if there's one snowflake outside." And I said, "Man, we're not used to it." And I said, "I'm gonna flip the script. You come down here when it's 100-degree summers." And your AC's broken, and then you tell me what you're going to do because we know how to get through it. but you may not. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but it's the truth. It's different areas.
Well, and it's what your body's conditioned to, too. Because, like, when we sold that Suburban I had, we had a guy that flew in from Buffalo, New York, and we met him at the airport in Houston. He got off the plane and got sick. When he made it out to the parking lot where the car was and that good old Texas sun hit his little old bald head, he physically got ill.
He got ill. If you're ill, call Bill.
Well, yeah, and he paid cash too. So, and he drove that thing all the way back to New York.
Good. Now, you ever hear from him again?
Oh, I get the toll road violations.
Oh no!
But first thing we did when we sold it, you can go on the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles, whatever website, and you can put in that you have sold that vehicle. So anytime we get one of those toll road violations, I just take a copy of that slip I got. You can print off the slip showing that you're no longer in possession of it or whatever. And I just, I mail that back to them like you're supposed to mail a check, and then they'll mail me back a thing saying it had been dismissed.
Were those toll violations coming from like New York?
Yeah.
So it
made it.
Hey, that's what I was going to say. We always try to look for the positive on this show. The positive is that Suburban made it, and it's rolling. I really
wish I hadn't sold it now. But, hindsight's 20/20.
We were going to open up this segment with this.
Did your parents ever say that? My mom says it all the time. Hindsight's 20/20.
And I try to figure out what it means.
Well, when you look back on something, you can see it perfectly. But when you're going into a situation, you don't.
We were going to open. I thought about this morning, Billy. Faithful Friday, and boy, I'm going to tell you something real quick. Just about faith. Faith is believing what you can't see. I talked about it last night on the Call to Neil on the prayer show. Believing in something that you can't see. That's having faith, man. And but we can see evidence. We can see little glimpses of heaven here and there. I'm going to tell you something. This man's going to get mad at me, but I just have to say it. One of the most humble men in this community is Jamie. Now, I'm not going to say his last name. I'm just going to keep it at Jamie. But if y'all know the man that looks like the man that comes around on December the 25th, you'll know who I'm talking about. But that man is one of the kindest men. And he doesn't know it this morning. But just when that man comes in to hang out and say hello, that helps boost my faith a little bit. Because the Bible says where two or more are gathered, here I am. Well, this morning is you and me, but we need a little extra boost. And
he made the more.
He made the more.
You made the more.
He made the more. And he came in this morning, and I've been seeing these all over town, all over the place, the little Jesus. I mean, what do you call it? I don't want to say figurine, but I mean, I'm like an old school word.
Yeah.
Like
you want to call it an action figure?
Yeah.
With Kung Fu grip.
But and I love these. You see them all the time. It says, Jesus loves you. Mm-hmm. And he brought this in this morning. And I think that's a reminder here on a Faithful Friday. One, to remain in faith. Trust God through all things, Billy. But you know what? Maybe somebody this morning just needed that simple reminder that Jesus loves them. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all they needed to hear this morning. They're going through something, and they said, I'm going through the toughest season of my life. Nobody loves me. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Jesus loves you. Jamie brought these in for a reason, and we've been able to relay that. And Billy, on that cruise, it's funny how all this works, because you were telling me that these little guys made an appearance on the cruise.
Yeah, there's a big thing right now on the cruise ships of hiding. There's the rubber ducks like a bathtub rubber duck, but there's also these little bitty tiny ones. Almost looks like a Monopoly piece, and they're made out of hard plastic. And people are hiding those things all over the ship, and it gives the kids something to do. And of course, it gives me and Jacqueline and John and Sabrina
something to choke on.
Hours and hours of activities, duck hunting as we call it. And I'm pretty doggone good at finding them little plastic ducks. But every time we would find a duck, we would leave a Jesus.
And
we had a big old bag of these, or John and Sabrina did. We just helped with the placement and whatnot.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
I was thinking whenever you said duck hunting,
Did you think about the video game?
No. Well, I did. I was about to go pew pew. But you have to have the old school CRT monitor.
That's right. I guess it won't work on a new one.
It does not. I have a Nintendo, and I said, man, I want to play. I have two Nintendo. I collect all that stuff. And I said, man, I want to play duck hunt. And I hooked it up to the LCD TV, LED or whatever, the flat panel. It don't work on it.
My dad used to get so mad when that little dog would laugh when you'd miss.
Did you know you can take the second player controller and you can control the birds? No. And if you really want to upset your buddy, that's kind of a little hidden secret. The second player controller on a Nintendo will control the ducks. It's pretty cool. And so you never tell your friends this. And so when they came over to play, you were kind of hiding to the side, and you were making that duck go all over the place, and they could never hit it. And boy, they would really get mad.
That falls into the important but useless information category now.
Very important. Yeah, very useful.
Raise your hand in this room if you still have that old Nintendo.
We ought to have an old school game day here in Huntsville. Just if you got old school, just come and play old games.
We are to have an arcade, but I don't know how well it would work.
There is there's a new apartment complex that opened. I'm not promoting. I'm just stating the facts. They opened up here. They're on 30. That new complex that's over there.
It's got your initials on it.
No,
the one before it.
The one after it.
Okay.
I guess if you're going out of town, the one before it. If you're coming in, the one after it. Big apartment, beautiful apartments. They gave me a tour of that place. And I put a little write-up on Hello Huntsville just to always let people know what's coming to town. Did you know, Billy, they have an arcade in that place in their community room? How cool is that? So there you go. Just walk in, pretend like you own the place, and go in and start playing.
Be like, is your washing machine still broke? Can I play? Well, over on Lake Road, back when I was still working for the state, I was helping Donnie at night doing some AC ductwork testing, and we had to go to one of those apartment complexes off of Lake Road. It was a newer one, and they had something like that. They had pool tables and foosball and you name it in like a little community room. And I'm thinking, my first apartment had a staircase and a sink.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the extent of the amenities. So
my first apartment here in Huntsville.
I was thinking about your first apartment complex this morning.
Did you ever come over there?
No, but
you know where I'm at.
Because I was forbidden to go over there as a child.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had the best neighbor, and I'm still friends with her today. And if the family's out there listening, the O'Brien family, that's a good family in this community here in Huntsville. If you're listening on the app, you're saying, what are you talking about? I'm talking about one of the good family here in Huntsville, the O'Briens, and Joyce O'Brien. And I felt so bad about calling her this, but she told me to call her this, her nickname. And I said, I can't say it. She goes, just say it. That's what they call me, Big Mama. And so that's Big Mama was my name. I felt bad about saying it. I just did, that ain't the way I was raised. But she told me. She said, that's my nickname. And so to this day, and everyone knows Big Mama. And she lived right below me in that apartment complex. And but I remember I was Bridget, we had just sold the house in Georgetown. Bridget was still staying at her parents. She was staying at her parents. I had sold my house. And I was like, what am I going to do? And because the house was gone.
It's just gone.
And Billy, I was looking around and I really couldn't find anything. And then just by chance, I drove by over there. I said, well, those ain't too bad. And I called, and Miss Chrissy worked for the brother. I can't remember the two brothers that own that. Davis Construction. Is it Brad Davis? The Davis Construction guys, the brothers. They own that. Yeah, they good men. They own that building. They don't own it anymore because before I left, they sold it to another guy. But man, I was paying I think it was like $500 or $450 a month, and it was all that I needed. It was pretty good size, little living room, and then there was just a short little hall, and immediately to your left was the bathroom and then the bedroom, and that was it.
Yeah,
that's all I needed. And there was this is more that you don't need to, who cares information. There was a computer warehouse up in Dallas. This guy was a computer hoarder, electronics hoarder, and he had passed away. It was called Computer Reset, something like that. Anyways, when he passed away, they found out. They're like, man, this guy had it. You remember Garden Ridge? You remember the old Garden Ridges?
Yeah, Garden Ridge Pottery. Or
yes,
yeah.
Huge and you walk in. I mean, it was like 50,000 square foot warehouse of just. Mm-hmm. It was like a glorified Hobby Lobby. Well, this guy had a warehouse about that big, and it was nothing but computer stuff. And if you've seen that show, Hoarders, and I know people go through, I'm not making fun of that because there's some people that are going through some psychological things, and that's not easy. I know a couple people that are going through that, and once you see it and you get to know them, you start to understand, like, well, man, something, there's something going on.
There's something in the background going on.
Yeah. Well, that's the way this guy was, but with electronics. Well, I'm a computer guy. I was like, this is awesome. And I saw this video on YouTube where they let somebody, it was so unsafe that they actually put together volunteers to help clean that up. And I'm talking, Billy, pallet racks stacked up to the ceiling of that warehouse full of stuff. You couldn't even walk through it. And they got it cleaned up to a level to where they could have people safely come in. And they said, how are we going to get rid of all this? And when I say there was a ton of stuff, if you go on eBay today and search for old computer parts, it probably came from Computer Reset. Man, I went in there, and they only allowed about 16 people at a time, and you had to schedule a time to go in. And they said, whatever you can find, bring it out, you put it in a pile, and then we'll just add it up, and then you go on your way. You remember IBM PC Junior? Remember the IBM PC, the little IBM PCs, the old school ones?
With the little B screen?
Some of them, yeah. There was ones with a little, but then there was like the IBM PC, and this was big, man. It was like a big, ugly metal case with that big red switch on the side of it. Some of the first IBM computers.
Was it like the ones they had in the school back in the
Yes.
day?
Yeah. And they had those, and then Apple had some too, the green screens. Well, the IBM came with this thing called a PC Junior. It was a lot smaller, but it was still pretty big. This guy had brand new 1980s IBM PC Juniors in the box, never opened, old school monitors, never opened. And I went in there and grabbed a couple of them things, and I thought, man, they're going to charge me $1,000 for this stuff. Billy, I piled up a huge pile of stuff. Microsoft Windows 1.0. 1.0 on the old school black floppies. Remember them bad boys? I piled up a big old pile of stuff, and the guy comes out, and he kind of looks over. He goes, well, $150. People were selling that stuff like that.
Take my money.
Yeah, that copy of Windows, and it was sealed, brand new in the box. I mean, first generation Microsoft
So
Windows.
this guy's stuff, it wasn't like used stuff. It was like new inventory. He had serious money invested.
Oh,
in this.
yeah. And I have no idea where he got it. And not everything was.
I can't wait till somebody says that about me. He had serious money. I don't know where he got it.
You'll be thinking, I don't know where it came from either.
Right now they're saying, I don't know where he's going to get it.
Yeah. But the reason I brought that up is because when I moved into that, Bridget wasn't with me, so I could
You were in charge of your own decisions?
Yeah, well, I could reconvene my hoarding problem.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so I was in that little apartment by myself, and there was cabinet, and I went down there, and I loaded up. That pile was huge, man. I still got stuff in you were at my garage, all those tubs, those are all the stuff from Computer Reset. Well, I didn't have room in that apartment, so they were all over. I mean, when you go into the kitchen where you're supposed to have forks and spoons, it'd be computer software, brand new in a package. Bridget walked in, and she goes, you got to do something about this.
You don't need a fork and knife for a Whataburger, right?
No, you don't. So anyway, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but it was just, I don't know. You never know what, I guess the whole root of this is you never know what you're going to come across. And through that experience, Billy, I've made 2 friends in that Dallas area that I still talk to today. One guy named, and I talk to him only online. One guy's named Andy. The other guy is named Randy. That's Randy and Andy and Randy.
But isn't that them little dolls your grandma had?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But you never know, and I think how cool is that? And so maybe that's a story for somebody today that I know it's random, but just be mindful of the things that the places that you go that you'll never think you make a connection. And then all of a sudden you've stayed friends with these people for years. It's like my brother-in-law, he has a job. They do all the ballards for HEB. You don't think about stuff. I never thought about that. The protection ballards, like to the doors, the big posts. Mm-hmm. And then they call it asset protection. And so the coolers and all that stuff, you know how there's that little rail there so your shopping carts don't hit it? That's what he does. I was like, I know that guy now. He met somebody on a cruise ship randomly one late night and said, we're looking for somebody to head up this, and we have all the contracts for HEBs in this part of Texas. Well, my brother-in-law talked to him, and 2 weeks later, the guy's got a job. Now he's overseeing all the projects. So
I got to start talking to more people on a cruise ship.
Yeah. Do y'all do that? That's why I wanted to ask. Do y'all kind of find somebody that you talk to, or you just kind of keep to yourself on the cruise ship?
Yeah, it's 50-50. I'm the guy that's going to talk to somebody in the group, and it's.
Do y'all do the excursions or?
No, we as Po people.
Yeah, that's some of
our excursion is y'all get off the boat so we can have the amenities.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah. No, we do get off and we walk to town. There's like the little, I don't know what you want to call it, like the port area of the town where the cruise line actually has some control over what's going on. Mm-hmm. First thing we do is get out of there and get into the bad part of town because that's where the real deals are at. And we do our shopping and then get back on the boat as quickly as possible.
You get off and there's always that guy that has the alligator boots.
Oh, yeah. Hey, there was when we got off this time, this is the first time getting off Royal Caribbean. When you get off Carnival, they got this thing, and I call it the rob shop, because they try to rob you as you go through there. And it's like this tunnel, and it's just, it's all this stuff for sale, liquors and cigarettes and perfumes and candies. And
junk.
It's all tax and duty free. And, you run through about 4 miles of that thing before they pop you back out the other side where the security check is.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't do that with Royal. We got off, and we literally walked down the dock, and boop, we were in the city.
They had olive branches, and like they were waving them to you guys as y'all got off, fanning you, and well, not that.
Yeah, we must have got off before that happened.
That's Grand Royal Caribbean. Well, hey,
but no, there was we got off, and the first thing I did is ran up into a pharmacy because I was looking for some it's like a Neosporin, but it's got like some serious medicines in it that you can't get in the States that actually do something. So, but right next, I'm gonna tell you this, and we'll get off the radio. But
no, it's all
right next to it was a leather shop where they were selling like purses and wallets and stuff. I walked through there. I mean, I didn't have the money to buy any of their stuff, but oh God, the smell of that real leather was just, I mean, I could have pulled up a chair and got a book and a cup of coffee and just stayed there. That was just, the smell of that shop was awesome.
I was thinking when you were talking about like the hand, the medicine or whatever, I'm thinking like, brother, that's how we know that we're getting to that golden age, because I don't know what the golden age is, but I feel like I'm there because I think about the same things. I have to have my Pepsid if I go anywhere, and if I don't have that Pepsid, I'm not going, man.
Well, there was a wreck on the interstate, and James, went out there with the fire department or whatever, and he got a cut on his finger, and it was from a diesel tank, and like I'm gonna give you Southern word. We were doctoring it at home, and a guy that works for me is like, "Oh, I get this stuff from this lady, and it's from El Salvador, and it's a cream with penicillin in it, whatever." And I said, well, that'd be nice to have some. And he brought me a little tin of it. It comes in almost like a old school Carmex container.
Kind of a biohazard logo on the top of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no. But we put that stuff on his finger, and like the next morning, it was like 110% better. It was crazy. It was almost like when E.T. cut his finger, or the little boy or whatever. Remember that?
Yeah.
Elliot, and he was fixed. So, yeah, I'm kind of on a mission now. I'm going to find me some of that stuff.
Man. Well, hey, before we go, I do want to say something. I've got to acknowledge this. I was so proud of James last week. He came on. He was filling in for you guys. And you had mentioned something about, well, James may come by. Well, I thought I said, well, he ain't going to come by. He was here. Right when I opened that door, he was ready to come. And I saw that truck out there, and I thought it was because we had a guest on. It was Deanna. I thought it was Deanna Irwin. I took a second. I said, well, that ain't Deanna. And then I said, that's James. And I asked him, I said, James, you want to hop on the show? He goes, well, yeah. And he came on, and it was, we're impromptu anyways, but I'm going to tell you, it ended up being a really great interview. And I know that you're proud of him too, man. What a great story from a Huntsville Hornet, and to see what he's been able to accomplish and do. It inspired me so much, I put together an article. I said, I want to highlight this young man of all the great things that he's done.
And that's awesome, and I'm glad that you did that. But his fire chief saw that article. And in the fire department, they have a rule that if you make the news, you had to bring cake and ice cream to the next meeting. So guess who got to bring cake and ice cream to the meeting? James Cole.
But let me ask you a question. Who got to pay for it?
Oh, he paid for it.
Okay, all right.
But I had half of it. I had to help him carry it in. So,
but I don't know. It's just
there's a shipping and handling fee.
Yeah.
And it's my truck, so there's a bigger shipping and handling fee.
Well, as long as I've known you, man, we'll talk about it another day. But he was just sharing a lot about you that I didn't even know. I mean, you've told me glimpses of stuff, but you serving with fire too and all. I mean, that is so cool to. And then through Donnie,
I'm going to write a book one day, and I want people to buy the book. And if he tells all the stories, then there won't be nobody buy the book.
Yeah, we're teasing it 30 years in advance here on this show.
Yeah.
So, but it was cool. I had no idea that he used to ride with Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
And Donnie's got to be proud.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Oh yeah, Donnie's proud. He's giving us some advice and some stuff to look for, not to look for, and yeah.
Well, there's evidence right there, friends. We'll cut this segment here in just a moment. There's evidence right there that you never know the impact. And at the time, Donnie probably, and you, I mean, even you, but even Donnie didn't even think. He probably didn't think like, well, man, this is going to inspire this boy to be work in the fire department. He said this is just a kid wanting to hang out.
Well, I haven't met a young person yet, that's elementary or junior high age, more on the elementary side, that doesn't want to be a fireman, doesn't want to ride the truck with the lights and the sirens and all that. But, they get that one little taste of it, or they don't even get a taste of it at all, and they move on. They want to be a scientist or a doctor or a politician or something. But it's in James's blood, so.
Then there's those little ones that have them popsicle sticks, and they have, the lighter for the cake, and they take it outside and start burning them popsicle sticks, and all of a sudden half the backyard catches on fire. They say, "Boy, I want to be a firefighter, Daddy."
How bad your dad whoop you for that?
Yeah, pretty good. How about yourself? Yeah. Well, all right, friends, we're going to break here. If you're listening on 94.3, we'll go back to regular music and programming. For those of you that are on social media, we'll keep the show going. You can always watch the show at HelloHuntsvilleTX.com, and also on YouTube. Just search for Hello Huntsville. Again, we want you to have a blessed day. Stay alert. Download the Walker County OEM app. Boy, they do. I wonder who is running that thing, because as soon as there's an alert from the Weather Service, and it's not automated, 2 seconds later, somebody's in there flipping a switch. That app keeps you up to date here. So be safe this weekend, and we'll take a break here on the social media. We'll be back in a moment. For the rest of you, God bless you and have a great day. This is Good Morning Huntsville, and we'll be back in a few moments. Take care.
I'm Billy Cauthen, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Imagine a voice of hope reaching every corner of Huntsville. From home
This is Guardian
Huntsville.
Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at GuardianDefenseLLC.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas. Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope. The church should be transformational. And maybe you've never been to church, or maybe life has left you feeling lost, but Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." At First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope, we're not trying to fit in with the world. We're here to help you step into something greater, a fresh start, a new life in Christ. Join us this Sunday at 10:45 and see what God can do in your life. Visit fbchuntsville.org. Hope is here, and we're saving a seat just for you.
Loving Jesus, loving people side by side. In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
At Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We are not a daycare. We are a child care center focused on the growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. Education you can trust.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
This is KHSP-LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Billy Cauthen of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
Welcome back at it. Baked a couple of them. Billy, that's some bad apples is what it was.
Ruined them seat covers.
Yeah, boy, sheepskin, seat covers, bad apples.
They don't sell those at the AutoZone.
What are sheep? But those poor sheep.
They still make the sheepskin seat covers.
You have to think about that.
You got to be careful with that when you don't want to that too fast. Truck drivers use it a lot, like people that sit in their seat all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome in. Hey, look, we got this new guy that popped in here. He couldn't find the door. I didn't tell him where to go. I did it on purpose. It's kind of like, where's Waldo? Or where's
You should have
Waldo's?
walked around and been knocking on those windows over there.
I mean, it's an option.
Marshall,
Let me in.
don't knock on those windows too hard because the caulking is coming out on that, and the panes will actually fall out.
Well, that'll allow you to reach up and grab the lock and just raise the window.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, you just exposed a security weakness.
well,
It's called forcible entry.
well, we are here off FM 972 at our new studio out here.
In downtown Conroe, Texas.
Live from downtown Conroe, this is Good Morning Huntsville. Wouldn't make sense.
Coming to you live from First Baptist Conroe.
Welcome back, everybody. Fun first segment, and Marshall has been blessed with a Jesus action figure as well, thanks to Jamie. We're spreading the good news this morning, and this could be a witnessing tool. It's got to be. Someone has had to come into a relationship with the Lord by somebody handing him this. One of two things are going to happen. Get away from here. Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Or I needed that. Who is this Jesus you're giving me? And then boom, there you go.
Everyone needs a little Jesus.
Yeah. Well, Marshall, welcome in. I was worried about him because he sent me a picture. He goes, nobody. This guy sends me a picture like of his hand on the door. It's like it's locked. Sends me a video, like trying to open the door. Right? Was this?
Because you're like the side door. I'm like, oh, there's a gate blocking the door you're talking about. I didn't even know that door existed because studios moved since I've been here last time.
So what you're saying, if there was like some commercial signage that pointed you in the direction of that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Nah, we like to be on. We like to be.
That's
anonymous.
something to think about.
We like to be anonymous over here, you know.
From First Baptist Conroe.
Yeah, First Baptist Conroe. Marshall Altum's here.
Well, you're going to get a phone call from them later today.
We always get phone calls on Fridays.
Who have we upset today?
Oh, man. Well, welcome back, everybody. It is a Faithful Friday, as always, here. Billy Cauthen, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. They are your, they've been here since 2002, serving families, taking care of people, and they've been with us since almost day one. And a big thank you to Marshall and his family. They're the ones that, I mean, we knew you, obviously, but they kind of helped connect the dots when we got this show going. And Billy hasn't forgiven me since, you know.
Yeah,
so.
They've been connecting dots for a while.
Yeah. So, well, Marshall Altum is here this morning from Altum Consulting Group. What's the new title now?
The Altum Group.
The Altum
At
Group.
Tag, you're always it.
Okay.
And then we still have Postcards Magazine. So we're on year 16 of publishing with the Piney Woods edition. So going strong, and year 15 of publishing with the Lake Conroe edition. So
if there's somebody who's 16 years old, they've grown up with postcards.
It's possible. Yeah.
There's your another fact of the day that doesn't really matter.
There was at one time your family was out of wipes, you know.
Yeah. So, well, welcome in, Marshall. Tell us what's going on, man. I know a couple things that you want to talk about, but just dig in. Let us know.
Yeah.
It's some good stuff for the community, man.
yeah. So after being asked, we finally have found a provider that we were happy with, and so we have launched our first Community Choice Awards. And our biggest deal with that is we want it to be something that is very driven by integrity as well as very highly ethical. And so we actually had one of the businesses nominated in it contact us and say, I don't see myself in that category. And so we ended up removing them from it, even though it was another opportunity for them to get highlighted, for them to be seen and what people thought they were. They were like, no, I don't see myself as that. And
see, Jason got voted in another thing for our pastor as best chiropractor in town, and I voted for him. I said, I hope you win this.
But it's just
He'd be doing
deal.
adjustments.
Yeah, I guess.
But it was that deal of like they didn't see themselves as that, so we were like, okay, we understand that, and so we took them out of it, and we're also monitoring that, and we also go in and do daily cleanup. We watch and monitor for names. On our church category, we have it church/pastor, and so we started getting churches, and then some people started nominating pastors, and so we were like, okay, let us do some research, start digging, and started doing the church-pastor and making that simple, because whenever it comes to that voting time, we want it to be clear, hey, it's the church and pastor, and make it super simplified for the voters, but also during this nomination process, we want it as clear for everyone that, hey, this is what it is. So we're trying to run it as highly ethical as we can, make sure it's just as clean an effort as we can going forward, and getting these people used to it as, hey, it is. This is how we're doing it. We're making sure that we're running it in our minds this way.
Yeah,
because
we had one in Georgetown. We use an app called Second Street. It was best, as my friend Max Acuna would say, Billy, Georgetown. He said, I live in Huddle, but I work in the Georgetown. So when I see Max, we always say Georgetown. He's a good man, Georgetown.
As our cruise ship was getting closer to Cozumel, depends on what side of the equator you're on.
Yeah.
there's a map in your room, like you put your TV on channel 1 and it shows you where the boat's at.
What's Georgetown on there?
There's a Georgetown just south of Cozumel.
Yes. It's our sister town.
And I wanted to take a picture of it and send it to you, but also I knew I was not allowed to touch my phone.
Yeah, didn't happen. Well, we had that, and there is a lot of work that goes into the background of these contests, and I think this is a really good one. One thing I like about, and this is nothing on any other contest that's out there, but one thing that I really like, and Billy, you'll probably agree with me on this, it's one vote and you're done. Yeah. I get so annoyed, Billy, like with these TV shows, vote every day, 10 times a day. I ain't got time to vote 10 times a day, man. And then at that point, it turns into a popularity contest and just one and done.
That irks me to no end.
That is our deal. We don't want it to be a popularity contest. It is we want it to be a true, hey, your customers need to vote on it once.
Yes.
It is hey, if your customer base votes for it, it is what it is. If you didn't, and this is also not hey, you are the absolute best business in Huntsville. We don't want people to think that either. This is just a recognition for like, hey, your customers really appreciated you this year. Every business that's on this list is doing a good job. I mean, that's the other deal. This is a community choice awards, and every business on this list is doing great things.
And there is something else I wanted to highlight. This is Walker County.
Yes.
So it's all of Walker County.
So and this is the other deal that we want to highlight and make sure, because as we were doing this, we started looking, and it kind of got to the deal where we're like, okay, well, like one of our friends, but like one of our people we know, like Terry Coleman. She's like, she lives in New Averly. She services Huntsville. She's in this area, but her brokerage is in Willis. And so it's like, okay, well, how do you do that? And so we got reeled down into the brass tacks of how do you do these nominations. And so we got down into it of like, if you are in Walker County, if your business is based in Walker County, or if you come to Walker County to serve the people in Walker County.
Yeah.
So that's how we determined it. If you come to Walker County and provide service. Now that's basically saying like, hey, if there's a child-friendly play place in Conroe, they're not eligible. You have to go to Conroe, or if there's a doctor down in Conroe. Now, if they make house calls and come up here, they would be eligible. But if you're having to go down to their office every time, they're not eligible. So that's that difference of if they are coming here to serve Walker County, they are eligible to be nominated.
That's good. And I appreciate you guys doing this. I know, Billy just talked about it earlier. I kind of, and it's not a disrespect to like any organization, but I got so tired of them, of some of these things, all over, because I don't have time to vote every day and do all that. And I said, it needs to be fair, one and done. And y'all are doing it that's the way we had it set up in Georgetown. And I think it's changed now, but when we did it through Hello Georgetown, that's the way that we had it set up. And it just makes it easier, man. I want to recognize my friend, like Best Funeral Home. Obviously, I'm going to put down my friend. And when I do that, though, I don't want to have to go in there every day and put it in again and put it in again and put it who started that mess?
Well, a couple of years ago, they had I'm not going to give the actual business or situation, but I'll just say it was a restaurant. There was a restaurant that wasn't even open yet. Was not licensed to do business yet. And it was in the running. ¿Qué pasó?
Yeah.
If I haven't been able to try your food, I'm not voting.
How do I know you're the best?
Like, you could have great advertising and great like marketing, but if I haven't been able to try to vote or like try your food or services, I'm not voting for you for best restaurant.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
That falls right back. It was a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what happened to me? Billy, you're going to like this. We haven't talked about the AI lately. We need to have an AI. We need to have an AI update. Well, there's this app called Marbleism.
Of course there is.
Boy, and it'll make you lose your marbles because it was really good. It helps. I know, Marshall, this is kind of off the beat, but I have to say this. It will tag your emails, prioritize them, which is a really good feature. I like that part. Well, it has different quote unquote employees. It has a social media manager and an email, a marketing person, an assistant. You can even set up a number that you call, and it's a virtual person that answers the phone. And it actually sounds pretty good. It's kind of cool, and it transcribes the call. But I had the sales agent enabled. That little booger sent out a ton of emails under my name. And it was marketing emails saying, "Hello, Huntsville would like you to partner with us. Businesses such as Fern's Cafe now open in Huntsville." I said, "There is." It just started hallucinating names of businesses that didn't exist, and I felt like our credibility went. It was sending out proposals.
That must have been what the other people were using.
Yeah. So don't vote for Fern's Cafe; they don't exist.
But you don't even know Fern.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other deal is that we're on this is nominations do matter. And that's one thing we really want to convey is not every business nominated may make it to the ballot. So those nominations really do matter. So make sure just because you're nominated on the category doesn't mean you'll immediately transfer over to the ballot for the voting period. So make sure that you get your friends, your customers to nominate you during this period because it does matter and translate over to the ballot. So that does matter. It does have impact whenever we go to the voting period. Not necessarily every nomination will make it on the ballot.
So here's the next question. If there's somebody out there today that may be on this show that may be moving their mouth right now that there's not a category for them, can they suggest, because we experienced this in Georgetown though, can you guys suggest new categories, for down the road?
Yeah, definitely. We actually had a local business owner message us because we took several contests because they gave us, who we're working with gave us a huge master list of all the contests they work with. And then we took some from regional and all this stuff, and we kind of got it down to the list we have now. And then we actually had a local business owner, and it's like, hey, I don't see a category for myself. Would there be anything? And it was a broad enough category where we're like, yeah, absolutely, we could add that one. And we actually added it in this year. And so we're still enough at that point where it could be, depending upon what it is. But they're broad. If they're broad enough, like there's some categories we may just not get into if they're super honed in or super specific. Like we don't have a best hospital category because we have one hospital.
Yeah.
There's not a point in our eyes to doing that. There's one hospital locally, and there was one hospital in Walker County.
Yeah.
Now we do have an ER/urgent care category.
We could have best car wash.
Yeah, and there is because there's several, yeah. And there's also the individual business owners that do provide their services and go to people's homes and do that.
Yeah.
And so there is that category, but there is the ER and urgent cares, and so they have their opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that's good.
But hospital, we don't find a need for that category, and so we did cull a list down.
Thank y'all for doing that.
Well,
honest to God, thank y'all for doing that.
We don't want people to spend hours and hours sitting at a list trying to think of stuff.
Yeah.
And then,
oh yeah,
like we really want it to be a semi-fast experience. We don't want people to have to sit there for an hour trying to think of nominations and then have to go back and vote through all the nominations.
I'll be honest, I was offended because I started a new business. It's Rob's cat washing service, and I wash cats, and there's no category for best cat washer. I'm just kidding. I was going to call you, Billy. You were going to be my first client.
Well,
I will gladly let you.
Well, and there isn't a best radio station.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not those kind of
There is another one now in town, I've heard. So
there's two.
Yeah, there's two. Well, there's three.
Technically, yeah.
There could be.
There's four.
Best, like you could nominate yourself under the best new business category. Like, so there's a way around that. Or best nonprofit. Like, so there is that workaround on those kind of sides because Spirit 94.3 is a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And so there is that workaround to still get you that recognition or still even try to get in the
best
contest
nonprofit radio station.
So
that's the category y'all need. Best nonprofit radio. There's a ton of those in Huntsville.
starting one
You know,
tomorrow.
they're actually. You know what though? In all seriousness, did you know there's actually two?
I know there's
There's been one since
but-
2012. Good people too. KPIA 102.5, which is the Catholic Church. Those are good people over there. They rebroadcast EWTN, which is the national network. But they're good
You
people.
gonna fight with them people?
No, they're
for
good
best
people.
stuff?
In fact, I had a guy that helped set that up. Talk to me. He gave me a little bit of advice. So
No, I know them. They're great.
yeah, and that's the way it should be. People should be working together, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this. You know what I love most about this contest is it just highlights people in Huntsville. That's what it. And if there's anybody else out there, well, here's another. Take a moment and breathe and think about. You know what? This is a way to recognize businesses here in our community, and that's really what it comes down to.
Is the other organization still doing their contest?
I'm not sure. I don't want to.
That's loaded. I understand.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean it to be. I'm sorry.
No.
But listen to this, though. This is the truth. And I don't mean this in a negative way. There are national organizations that there is no contest, and they will send you an email saying, hey, you're the best this in Huntsville. And then you pay to get the award. And I don't mean to be rude to people, but they'll get on Facebook and we won this, and it's a marketing scam.
Yeah.
So be careful of I've received emails probably once a month about you guys have been nominated best news source in Huntsville, and it's the it's the Huntsville News Association. I'm like, that don't even exist.
That could possibly be true.
But then they ask you. You know what they ask, Marshall? They'll send you an order form, and you can buy your laser engraved award for $49. It's a marketing scam.
Yeah.
Well, I got that.
49
whenever-
isn't too bad. We've had some of those companies take the articles we do, like literally just from our story articles, and then try to charge people $250 or things like that from literal articles we do. So
You give me a new business idea.
yeah,
Well, it's like when Greg publicly announced me as the managing partner or whatever, and it went into item. I started getting 3 or 4 emails a day from people wanting to sell me a plaque and a big blown up version of the article. And I called over to the item. I'm like, hey,
Are y'all doing this?
and they're like, oh no, that's not us. Don't do that.
yeah.
So
Man.
Companies will literally just take the articles from any print publications and start reaching out, selling.
they
and,
do
and
that
it's
with-
high dollar.
they do
It's
that
not,
with headstone sales too. When you put an obituary in a newspaper, those headstone companies will, local, national, you name it, they will mail your family brochures.
You know, there's a guy in Georgetown that passed away, a well-known guy, and I was Googling his name because I wanted to find out more about him. And a YouTube video popped up from another country. And I was like, what is this? There are people, go look this up. Billy, you'll probably do that. You'll look this up now. There are people who go find obituary, and that's all that because they're trying to gather YouTube views. And so they will read the obituaries on YouTube, and they have no connection, and they'll read them 100 miles an hour, and it'll be like, blah, 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 passed away, God bless this man. And then they'll just go on to the next person. And it's and like this guy has like, man, I saw like 10,000 subscribers just reading obituaries. Another business idea, Bill. That's another category. Best obituary reader. See, we're coming up with categories here for this.
Like those little East Texas towns where they read the obituaries on the radio.
Yeah, Rockdale used to do that.
John Smith.
But anyway, sorry, Marshall. I'm steering the conversation. I appreciate y'all
That
doing
happens
this.
a lot here.
Yeah, it's part of the show. But no, I really do. I appreciate what you guys do and your mom and y'all's family. You know, we would have never been able to start this platform the way that we did without y'all's support. And y'all have helped out so many in this community. And Tammy's a part of y'all's team now. Tammy's just an absolute angel. I've always just loved her as well. And, you know, a lot of great things. And just like Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, you know, sponsoring and being involved. I was in a meeting yesterday. I have to say this, and I said it respectfully. I said, please don't call them. I said they got a lot. They got a lot going on, and they support a ton in the community. I was in a board meeting. I said, please don't call those guys because y'all are so busy, you know, with other things. I said, I'll handle it. I'll talk to Billy. I said, don't get on the phone and call them because y'all are supporting so much, just like you guys do, Marshall. So I thought you'd like that, Billy. I just had to tell you that.
That's where my bonuses go.
But no, it isn't important to be involved, and y'all do that. And I think this is a great way to promote business here in the community. So,
I mean, and that's one of the deals. I mean, this is not a deal that we're trying to make a bunch of money on. I mean, we're doing this for the community. Another deal is There's a couple categories that we ourselves as the Altum group can qualify for, and we've removed ourselves because we had a couple nominations that we saw and we're like, who nominated us? Like we're flattered, but we removed ourselves because we don't see ourselves, and we just think that's a conflict of interest. And we went ahead and just removed ourselves.
Thank y'all, because that best chiropractor, that time you popped my back, I voted for y'all. So.
Well, it's like web design and things like that we can do, but we're like, no, we're not going to go down that road.
You're not going to get best advertising agency.
I don't think there's an advertising agency in there, but we're just not going to start going down that road, and we think it's conflict of interest. We're wanting to run that huge part of integrity, and we think that starts blurring the lines, and we're not going to pursue that. And so we just went ahead and removed ourselves. We're just running that where this is for the community. It's not for us.
Yeah, that's good, man.
That's what we're doing.
Integrity right there. That is. Yeah.
By goodness. I was sitting there thinking like hometown hero, I ought to nominate myself. Hello. Have a selfie. Hey, how you doing? I know what you're saying. Would never do that. That is important. Integrity is so important. And, your family's always been that way, man. Y'all have been so good to this community. And Marshall, we appreciate you and everything that y'all do. Your mom, your dad. I mean, it's a family business, Yeah. What's it been like for you? I know you were working at previous jobs, and now, now you're working with the fam. What's that journey been like, man?
Well, I mean, the fun part is I've always worked behind the scenes. So I've never left the family business. It was always like, oh, hey, I went to the financial industry, went and worked with credit unions and was in marketing or digital services and worked for that. But it's like, oh, hey, after hours, let me work in ads, let me send these emails, or, oh, hey, I'm on my lunch break, let me work with a designer, let me send this.
Like, great, I'm trying to eat.
Like, let me go out to my car, let me send these emails. Like, yeah. So, I mean, there was always work that I've done with the family. Even when I was in college and working with parking enforcement for the university, I still worked with the family company. And so, I mean, there's been a long history there, and I think that's why I've really fallen in love with the family business, because I've seen what my mom has gone through building this company, building the reputation that she has done, and the work she's put in for her clients, and the work she's done building this magazine for this community, because there's just been so much love and thoughtful effort put into it. Especially on the magazine side, because I'll tell y'all, it's a dedication of love. I mean, we got done with a meeting and at the hospital, and she was like, they don't need to take my blood pressure right now because I'm sure they'll probably want to keep me because we were on deadline day for the magazine. And she's like, I'm not taking my blood pressure. She was just so stressed out on deadline day. And I mean, it can be stressful. There's the stories we got to do. We got to coordinate writers. We got to coordinate photographers. Get all that together. We're coordinating with our sales reps and ads, getting all those placed, and then we're coordinating design with our designers and building these magazines for this market as well as for the Lake Conroe market, and doing that for 25,000 copies in each market. So I mean, 50,000 copies a month going back to back, and the stories aren't always the same. And so it's a lot of love put in.
Yeah. All right. So, I want to run this scenario by you. You're at the office, and your mother, who's sweet, I love her to death, she gives you an assignment, and you have questions on it. And you walk up to her. Do you say Karen or Mom?
Typically, I'll just say, hey.
Boy, he tap danced right around that one.
Yeah. Or if we're in a client setting, I'll typically say, hey, Karen. If we're in a private setting, I'll typically say, hey, Mom.
See, that's professionalism right there. I like that.
So it's just that trying to make, but that has brought on, there was we were at a Christmas party we had been invited to, and there was somebody that's like, Karen's your mom? And I was like, yes. And they're like, well, I've known Karen for years. And, like, and it just clicked. They're like, I didn't realize you were her son. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she's like, well, I knew you were when you were little. I didn't realize you were like grown up. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And so we were talking about that. And so even Carlos Zimmerman, he's known Karen and he's known me. And we were talking about that. And he's had no business dealings with us. He's just known us. And so he hadn't emailed with us. He hadn't corresponded with us. But when we were at MASH, he was talking with me, and he's like, Marshall Altum with Postcards Magazine. And then he heard Mom's radio ad, and he's like, Karen Altum. And right then it clicked. And he's like, that's your mom. And he's like, I've known y'all for 5 years, and it just clicked that Karen's your mom. And he was just blown away. And like, so I mean, there are people in the community that don't realize that, because I do call her Karen in that professional setting.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is that standard that we do want to be professional when we're out and about in the community. But when we're in that private setting, I will call her mom.
I was trying to remember whenever they come to our office and we have our meetings. I'm like, I don't ever remember him addressing her. So
yeah.
I mean, it was weird. You know, it's like I had James on the show last week, and he came in, and I was like, wait a minute, James Cauthen. And I started thinking, are you Billy's son? I mean,
it's hard to tell.
I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, it's what got me to thinking about that is, you know, my kids work at the funeral home, and it depending on the setting, if I'm Billy or Bill or Dad, you know.
Yeah.
With Lily, it's always Dad. You're not going to get her to call me by my first name. James, it just whatever.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Marshall, one last thing. I was just thinking about this too. You know, another big event. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home has supported CASA for many years, just like you guys at Postcards. Highlight the Kids Expo that's coming up. It's going to be in April.
Yes. So when I filled out this form, I originally was in a CASA Kids Expo meeting, or going into it, and misput information and I had to refill out. But yes, CASA Kids Expo is coming up April 25th, and it will be from 10 a.m. from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that is coming up. Vendor registration is going on now. And so if you have questions about it or want to sign up, you can reach out to Laura Green at the CASA office. She is great. She will get you taken care of and get you signed up. But she is the absolute caretaker of this event. If you have questions about it, you can reach out to me or Laura. I'm newly on the CASA board as well, and also on this event. So you can reach out to Laura or I, and we're happy to answer questions about it. But Laura's the one taking care of vendor registration. But otherwise, we look forward to seeing you April 25th.
Sweet. Mark
your calendars. All parking will be at the fairgrounds facility, and they'll have shuttles going. So feel free to coordinate with someone, have them drop you off with a stroller if you bring in strollers, and then have that one person go park at the fairgrounds and just have them shuttle over. That way it's easy. You're not having to lug strollers and everything over. So, but if you can't, they have shuttles so that you can just quick shuttle right to the Huntsville Church of Christ. So
I guess y'all got some church buses or something.
Lots of churches are volunteering vans, buses, shuttles. So it's all coming together.
Sweet. I guess I could bring the hearse up there.
Yeah, rev up the. Y'all need to get one with like flames that come out of the side, and like, you know how we want to have the A-Team van, but
we do have one for sale right now. If somebody wants to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's do it, man.
I've got a 2011 Lincoln hearse for sale.
This is our swap and shop, you know, that we've been wanting to have here on the show.
$8,500. I'll take cash.
Well, Marshall, thanks so much, man, again, for coming. You're always welcome. I always tell, just like, you know, Jamie comes and hangs out with us. We have some folks that just come in here and just hang out. You're always welcome to come in and you know, schedule the call if you want to come on the show. But, I mean, even if you're here and you want to hop on, don't worry about it, man. You and your family, y'all are always welcome in here. Y'all are a big part of what we do. And thank y'all for promoting the good here in Huntsville.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could come and have one of these intelligent adult conversations
yeah,
with us.
on a Faithful Friday. Real quick, I do want to ask, I'm going to ask this to Marshall. Marshall, I'm going to throw this at you. Think about a time and this is deep. This is a deep one. I skipped it with Billy, so I'm passing on to you. Think about a time in your life where maybe faith played a tremendous part of something. Can you think of one scenario? Give us one real quick, because this is for the audience to kind of lift them up. Maybe somebody's going through something today, and it doesn't have to be a bad story, but think about a time in your life, Marshall. What would one of those times be where faith really played a key role in your life?
Yeah. So the one that comes immediately to my mind, just you put me on the spot, so
That's all right.
When I was in kindergarten, my mom and I got into a bad car wreck.
Oh, man.
And so whenever she and I got in that wreck, she had come and picked me up early from school. And where the intersection is now, right out by Alpha, where they've built the overpass, it was actually at that intersection. And that's her wreck, and several others were part of the reason that intersection got so much development. Well, whenever that happened, she was trapped in the vehicle, and it shattered her femur. And so, but from the impact, there should have been more damage to where I was in the vehicle. From where she picked me up to that intersection, very short time, I fell asleep in that amount of time, and I have no memory of the actual impact of the accident. What I do remember is my mom buckling me up, and I'm said, like, hey, because we were going to go to Mr. Gaddy's. And I was like, hey, wake me up when we get there, because we were going to meet my dad. And so I fell asleep against the door. Whenever we had gotten to that intersection, she kind of knew that truck was going to hit us, and she prayed, like, just protect Marshall.
Wow.
Well, when I woke up, my seatbelt was off, and I was on the opposite side of the vehicle.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I remember waking up and seeing our front windshield shattered, like just completely shattered all across, and Mom unconscious. Well, the school nurse had decided to go to lunch, and I had just woken up, and Mom was kind of becoming conscious, and the school nurse pulled me out of the car. And so between all that timing, I was in the car awake for less than a minute, and then they got us out of the car, and then we got life flighted down to Memorial Hermann.
Good.
Which is one of the reasons I'm passionate and excited about Life Flight coming to the community, because it's played a role in our life.
Yeah.
But she was operated on by Dr. Red Duke, and who was one of the founders of Life Flight.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we've just had that major faith impact in our life from that prayer, because the way that truck impacted us, there should have been damage to my door, but there was not a scratch on my door. And then plus my seatbelt coming off and me being thrown to the opposite side of the car and me sleeping through the entire accident, I did not have a single scratch on me, and I was able to go home from the hospital that night. So I got life flighted with her, but just as a precaution, and I got checked out and released that night. So,
wow.
But it also, the Alpha Omega community and our church family stepped up, and because of course Mom went through extensive surgeries and had to have leg reconstruction, and all this stuff had happened. But the Fordyces, the Pardos, all these families stepped up, and Partitas stepped up and took me and my sister in and made sure we were going to school, made sure, like, helped us while my mom was in surgery, while she was in recovery, and made sure that we were being able to live as normal as we could at that point. So, I mean, it was really a step up of the Christian community, but also having faith and making sure we were okay, checking on us. The teachers were making sure we were okay. So, I mean, it's a real, like, I mean, it was tragedy that it happened, and my mom still has struggles with it. It looks like she has the Eiffel Tower in her leg, and she has one leg built up, like her shoes built up. And so like if you ever, one of my favorite things as I was growing up, I would say, oh, stand on your short leg, like seeing if I was taller than her, like as I was growing up.
That's why he got whooped a lot.
Yeah,
but
poor guy.
It was that deal of like, it took immense faith for us to proceed through all that, because it kind of made her client relationships take a pause. It was all this stuff that, because she founded the advertising agency in 2001. And then that car wreck happened in 2002.
Wow.
And so it was early on in the advertising agency, and it was proceeding through all this stuff going on, and just having to have faith and move through all that. So that's kind of the first thing that comes to my mind.
Well, man, thank you for it. Marshall, I had no idea, man. I mean, how's that for a Faithful Friday? You know,
Yeah, it goosebumped me.
I know, man. Well, Marshall, we appreciate you and your family so much. And thank you for sharing that. I know Billy and I get on here and cut up and joke around, but there's always a time to be serious. And I'm going to tell you, man, that is God at work right there. And you mentioned church. You know, Huntsville Church of Christ does a lot in this community. And it's always my prayer that all churches come together. There's 42 of them that believe in the salvation through Christ here in our community. And if we focus on the main thing, and the main thing is Jesus Christ, boy, we could do a lot of good. And we're seeing people come together every day, and organizations come together. And you guys are helping to spearhead that, especially through this with this new inaugural award program that's coming out. One last thing, where can folks go to vote? We didn't talk about that real quick.
You can go to our website, postcardslive.com. You can follow us on our Facebook page. We're having posts on it. It's the direct link is actually, it's postcardslive.com at, let me.
That's all right.
Get it pulled up because my
But there's a link on the Postcards Live, right?
Yeah. It's postcardslive.com/community-choice-awards.
There we go. Yeah.
So,
perfect.
And I'm going to work on getting that to like maybe CCA next year, where it's easy.
Awesome.
But yeah,
well,
or
good stuff,
maybe
man.
a short URL, or we'll have multiple.
That's all right.
So, but yeah, it's on our Facebook. You know, a lot of us will probably be semi-homebound this weekend. so it's a perfect.
Unless you're in the funeral service industry and you're on call this weekend and your name is Billy.
Yeah.
But as you're sitting by the fire this weekend, bundled up, you know, go do those nominations. Think about that restaurant. You were like, oh man, it'd be really nice to have their food right now, like, and nominate them as your favorite. So this is just nominating your favorites. So think about them as you're bundled up this weekend, staying warm.
Awesome. Well, Marshall, thanks so much, man. And you brought something to my attention, Billy, and I'm going to chat with him at the break, and I want to mention it in our last segment about supporting local businesses here in town. There's one that Billy called me on, and I want to highlight that. But Marshall, thank you for being here, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you guys and Postcards Magazine. They're doing great work, folks, and make sure that when you get the magazine, go through it, read it, and also contact the businesses that are in there because that's what keeps this community going. Someone the other day said, well, my advertising is word of mouth. I said, well, organizations like the Postcard, guess what? They help start the word of mouth. And so support them and what they do, and we appreciate y'all very much, Marshall.
Thank you.
You bet. Well, we're going to take a break. I want to talk about more ways to support businesses. One that's in need that we believe could use your help here in Huntsville. We don't want to see doors close. We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay with us. It's Good Morning Huntsville. Couldn't have had Marshall on if it wasn't for our friends at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Get your pre-planning done. We'll mention that as well. SHMFH.com. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope. This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
The spirit of Huntsville, spiritradio.fm.
Doodly-doo. Getting close to 670, Billy. You want me to delay a few episodes so we can hit it? Like, I'll hit you on the...
Like 700?
Yeah.
The 700 episode.
I'll kind of fandango my way into that one for you. So, well, welcome back at
Looks
it.
like a good place to do a balloon drop, too.
Yeah, well, it's a little. The ceiling's a little bit low. Yeah.
We could do it in the sanctuary.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know about all that.
Just throw them off the balcony thing up there.
The old church in Georgetown I went to is called Celebration Church, and when they had their 10th anniversary year, the church grew so fast, man, and they had their 10th anniversary, and they did a balloon drop at the end of the Sunday service. Celebrate good times, come on! And the balloons whenever it was. Some people got all bent out of shape over that, and I'm like, there's nothing sacrilegious about that. I said, man, celebrating what the Lord has done. Why would you get upset about that?
I've realized that at my age, you can't please all the people all the time.
Two things. I was going to say this. Two things you've realized. One, you need that Neosporin type cream with the really good stuff in it
From Mexico.
And two, you can't please everybody all the time.
Yeah. What's the old saying? You could do all of them some of the time, but none of them all the time, or something like that.
That's it. I'm in a good place right now, Billy.
Yeah, you're in your studio.
No, well, we're in a church. That's always a good place. I wanted to say thank you to, I always have to say this, man, to Jeff Power and you guys over at Christ the King Methodist. The Lord has been moving in such a powerful, I was talking to Billy Holmes, Chaplain Holmes, about this the other day. And man, we are seeing churches come together, Billy, in ways that I believe that we've needed to see them come together in this community. And I don't mean it disrespectfully, because everybody does their own thing. But man, the Lord is moving, and I'm seeing so many churches coming together. You know, there's things going on at University Heights Baptist Church and Northside and you guys and the Church of Christ and Christ Presbyterian. I mean, and First Presbyterian. I had Liz Spear in here the other day. She's not even an official member of that church, a Family Faith.
Have you seen the updates on Family Faith? I watched the videos. They got them a building out there. Yeah. Now, that's impressive.
It is. And you know, the Lord it's just moving in such a mighty and powerful way. And I'm so thankful for you guys too. I've just developed a really cool friendship with y'all's pastor, with Reverend Powers.
He's a pretty cool guy.
Rev up your, I don't know there's just something about that guy that I'm like, I want to hang out with that guy.
He's just regular. He's just a regular guy.
Not decaf or nothing.
No, just regular. He's like he's the friend next door type of guy. Like you wouldn't know. He's not shoving it down your throat. He's a regular dude. He's a good guy.
There's a guy where I grew up. We used to play basketball every Thursday night up at First Baptist. This guy would always play. His name was John Duncan. And back then,
Did he dunk?
No.
Okay.
I mean, y'all got to change your last name if that's your last name and you play basketball. But when I was growing up, I'd get a little angry, and there were some choice words that would come out on that basketball court. I actually got kicked out of the Georgetown Rec Center. I mean, it was like I was in the temple flipping tables, but I was in the gym flipping tables. There was Gatorade, and I got so angry one time, man.
You did not.
Oh, man, I got so mad playing bad. There was something happened in the middle of a play, and I could not control my anger, and there was a table, and that was the first thing in front of me right at the end of that basketball hoop, and there was Gatorade cups and bottles, and I took that and flipped it. Gatorade went flying everywhere. People got mad because it got on the edge of the court.
That stuff's sticky, man.
Rec center lady comes in, I'll never forget, and she said, "Rob, get out of here." And she said, "I don't want you back in here until I tell you can come back." And I was mad. Miss Borrego, I remember her. And I'd never acted like, she's always nice to me, and she had every right to be mad at me. She told me, she said,
you acted a fool.
Yeah, and she said, "You don't come back until I tell you can come back." And she let me come back a couple months later. And I felt so bad about that. And I learned a lesson. Man, you got to control your anger. I don't know why we were talking about that. It just popped into my head, man. But one thing that I do get angry about, here, I'm going to tie it in now.
Okay, here we go.
I get angry seeing social media sometimes. And I get angry because of this reason, because people will badmouth the place and won't give them a second or a third chance. But then when that place goes out of business, oh, I wish they were here. I wish that they were here. Another business is gone. And there is a business that's really turned things around. They have worked really, really hard. And you and I know the family, and they're a good, hard-working family. And I'm not saying anything negative about this, but I'm saying it in a positive way, because when we had the Billy Cauthen Lunch Bunch, which we got to get that going again, there was something cool about that, man. I know you've been busy, and I've been busy in those things.
I mean, maybe if y'all offered to pay for my lunch, I could be more, you know.
Yeah, because where I'm at right now, it's going to be McDonald's until I get check in on the first.
Good bologna sandwich, hard to beat, you know.
Yeah. Billy, mention the business, because you called me the other day, and I like what you said. You said, "Rob, I don't know if it's the Lord telling me this or what, but we need to talk about this business." And it's a positive thing, but let the people know what it is.
It's like it was laid on my heart. I'm worried about Bandera Grill.
Yeah.
They're poor things. With that gas station beside them shutting down, it looks horrible. And I don't know what Diamond Shamrock was thinking there, because that place has been setting for 10 years now or something. And the road construction, the way that U-turn thing is done, it throws you out past their driveway. But it tickles me. Everybody and their mama can use their parking lot to cut through to get through the car wash, but nobody stops in there and gets lunch.
Yeah.
And this is a good family. Every time we've been in there, it's quick service. The food is good. I mean, the chances of you getting the owner's wife as your waitress is 99.9%. The husband's in the back cooking. It's a family show. And it's good food, and it's reasonably priced. But they're in a bad location. And then there's a newer facility across the road from them that's kind of a national chain, and I'm not knocking them.
Yeah, they do good work.
They
too.
do good work, and it's good people over there too.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're not open for lunch. This place is open for lunch, and this family needs us. And I'd sure hate to see them go away, because what are they going to put there, another car wash?
Yeah.
You know, we need to step in and help this family and go by and get a lunch special or get a glass of tea, do something to help these people.
I'm going to go today.
They're kind of in the same boat as the Country Inn Steakhouse.
Yeah.
You know, the road construction's killing them too.
I'm going to go today, and I want to encourage anybody, if you're out there, not because of me, but because of this family, go and eat there. I'm going to go today, and I'm going to get that chicken fried steak because it's good.
It is good.
And I want to say something, because I was talking to somebody the other day, and we all have different ways that we experience something. You know, you could go somewhere and say, man, that's the best thing I've ever got. And then somebody else goes, say, well, I didn't, you know, I won't say a name, but there's a place that I've went several times, and it just hasn't been good experiences there. And someone was talking to me about this, and I said, well, man, he goes, well, why is, he was asking me, why is this happening? And I said, well, I just haven't had good experiences there. I'll be honest with you. I said, I've given them several chances, and every time I went in, there's always something different. Mm-hmm. And then he started talking about a place that I've had great experiences at, and he's had 3 bad experiences. He said, he goes, I'm reluctant to go back. And it made me start to think about, maybe I just hit the bad luck of the straw. And this rule with some of these restaurants where it's 3 strikes and you're out, I'm going to reconsider that. Not that I'm going to keep going and going and going to a place if it's always terrible service, but it put a burden on my heart that these are local people. Mm-hmm. And just because you're local don't mean that I'm going to, you know, do everything I can if I'm not getting good service. I mean, at some point you got to say,
you got to cut them off at some point, but
when I hear from somebody else that, well, I got bad service there, but the place you're talking about's always been great, that made me rethink that maybe I just hit a bad string. And I want to go try him again. This other place, I'm going to go try him again because he told me that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like people, you'll talk to them and they'll be like, you know, McDonald's messed my order up again. I'm like, oh, yeah? Yeah, we go there 4 times a week, and every time they screw it up. So you're going to give this national chain time after time after time after time. Mm-hmm. But the little local ma and pa that is just trying to keep the doggone lights on, they're going to accidentally put unsweet tea instead of sweet tea in your cup, and you're going to get all bent out of shape.
Yeah.
And never go back. Come on, people.
Yeah.
We can do better. We can do better.
I mentioned earlier the support that Sam Houston Memorial Field. You see their logo on the screen behind me every show now.
I helped design that.
They did great. By the way, it's blurry up for us, but
I didn't design that part of it.
On the video, it looks really good.
Oh,
Greg would be happy.
He's happy all the time.
But this is why we do what we do. Billy's in the funeral business, you know, helping families. But they partnered with us because they wanted to get behind the movement of promoting good in our community and promoting local business. And when we as business people can promote each other, mm-hmm. we're all better off for it. You know, I know we were joking earlier, but, you know, there is another nonprofit Christian radio station here in town. People don't know that much about it, but, you know, those guys have helped. There's a guy there that helped me. He gave me some ideas. I'm going to help them. The Walker County Amateur Radio Group, they came over and helped us. You know, Brian Reeder is now the GM over at KSAM. I congratulate Brian. Brian, people don't know this. Brian was one of those backseat drivers that was instrumental in bringing me to Huntsville. Mm-hmm. And he may not even realize that. But when Dave Donahue was at the station, Brian was telling Dave, I think we need to get this guy over here. That guy means a lot to me, and I'm so thrilled. I prayed for him. Whenever that opportunity came up, I prayed that Brian Reeder, because he's local and he knows this community. And if we want to, I don't want to say this like in a negative way. I always have to put a disclaimer. But if we want to preserve the culture that makes this community so great, well, then let's get people in charge of different things that know this community and that are well respected in this community, that know this community, that have been a part of it, that understand. And not to say that somebody new would come in and not have good ideas, because they do. Boy, look at Jason Brandolini at the Chamber. That guy is, I love that dude. I've had him on the program. He's called me. He's checked in with me. He sent me a message the other day just randomly. He said, man, I feel so bad. I said, why? Well, I haven't reached out to you in a while. He goes, I don't want you to think I forget. And he didn't need anything. It just something on his heart made him text me and say, I said, I don't think anything negative of that. I said, man, don't even worry about that, Jason. I said, you're doing a great job in this community. And so I think as a business community, as a church community, as people, we all need to come together. You guys are constantly bringing people together. not just during a service, but you're bringing the community together. And that's what I want people, when they come on here and see Billy and he and I are chatting and having a good time, I want people to know that this organization, not because he's sitting here and because they sponsor this program, but they are truly giving back. And it's more than just what we do. If all that I did every day was Hello Huntsville and just putting a few articles and sending out a newsletter and helping to promote, if that was all that I did, then I ain't doing what I should be doing. And so think about that today. What are ways that you can help? And guess what? You don't have to give money to help. A lot of people think, well, the only way they're always going to want money. Sure, the radio station, we need money. I mean, the hard part, I thought the hard part was getting it online. Now I know the hardest part's keeping it online.
Yeah, no joke.
But what we need more than anything else is prayer. Because if people pray, the Lord's going to provide. Mm-hmm. I said it last night on my prayer show, Billy. I said, prayer is a two-way phone call. And if we're not, but we have to be the one to pick up the phone and dial the number. The Lord's going to speak to us, sure. But if we want to initiate, if we want to see things come to pass in our life, and I'm not talking worldly things, I'm talking about if you're struggling, if you're financially, all those things, that's all good and well. But maybe spiritually you're saying, man, things aren't clicking, things aren't happening. It's like old Reagan says, are you listening?
Yeah, are you listening?
But I also think in order to listen, you got to pick up the phone and make the call.
I hope he doesn't send us a bill for that.
So I'm going to change it and say, are you calling?
Are you calling?
Are you calling? Think about it. Are you calling on the Lord? Because we can listen all day, but what we need to be doing is calling. And when we call, guess what? He answers. There ain't no voicemail. I was joking last night. I said, when I call my family, there's a voicemail all the time. But then I started thinking, I do the same to them. Not badly. It's just we're all in the middle of something. But when you call on the Lord, there ain't no voicemail. He's picking up. He's answering.
Well, I say that all the time. When the Lord calls you home, you can't send it to voicemail.
Oh.
So.
When you're ill, call Bill.
That's right.
So.
Don't be silly, call Billy.
All right. Well, Billy, real quick, I thank you for bringing that to our attention. Go support Bandera Grill. I'll be there today at noon. I'm going to go get a chicken fried steak. Man, that's good, that chicken fried steak. So
I might try to slide in there myself.
Yeah. I'm going to go there today and get a lunch, and I'd invite you to come and hang out if you can, and no strings attached other than you'll pay my bill and Billy's. Other than that, I'm just kidding.
I mean, think about it. You got to eat lunch somewhere. You might as well have a good one.
Yeah. So, well, final thoughts from you, Billy. Just I know a lot going on at the funeral home, and you guys are always wanting people to come in and do pre-planning. I was talking to Frank Oliveris yesterday. We had a meeting with FCA, and I was talking to Frank, and he was talking about saying, man, I got to get in there. I got to go get my pre-planning done. People in town know that they need to do it. But I think that and I'm not talking specifically about Frank. I don't know if he's done it or not. That's between him and y'all. But he said, I got to go do it. And I think I'm in the same boat. I need to go do it. We talk about it. But I think there's this scary part of, well, man, I don't want to talk about what's going to happen when I'm gone. But you need to talk about it.
It will not bring ill to you. It's okay to have a plan. That's all you're doing is just having a plan, At your home, you probably have an emergency plan if something were to happen, like a fire or something. Mm-hmm. Y'all have an escape route, and that's making a plan, and that's highly suggested. We're taught that from young children up. There's a plan, there's a meeting spot, there's everything. Well, this is basically the same thing. This is a plan, this is a meeting spot, this is what needs to be done. These type of things need to be planned because they are emergencies that are going to happen.
Yeah, just be mindful, and I think it's the best thing that you can do. There's two things that I think you can do for your family, and I'm not an expert at these things, but the one thing is get your pre-planning done. That's a big thing that you can do for your family. Second thing,
get it on paper, man. That's pretty much the goal.
Just write it down, because there's certain things that I want to happen to my family and to me the way that I want to be handled when I pass away. And I've been very clear, but I need to put it on paper. Like I don't want to, and I don't want to be morbid, but for me, I want to be cremated, man. I don't want to be in a casket. That's just my preference. And I've seen families where people have said that, and then they're like, well, that's not really what he wanted or she wanted. That's not really what she wanted. So we're not going to do that.
We see it all the time where people, or I'm going to be buried, and then they pass and their kids are cremating them. Well, maybe you didn't want to upset your loved ones and have that conversation, but you didn't ever put it in writing. So now we're not doing what you wanted done. We're doing what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And that's just where we're at.
Two things, that and life insurance.
Yeah. Well, it tickles me. People all the time when I try to talk to them about this are like, well, it's in my will. It's in my will.
Where's your will?
Exactly. Where's your will? Because when you pass away, are you going to be clutching that document? No. It's locked away in a safety deposit box. Who has the key? Well, I do. Well, how are you going to give somebody the key once you're gone? I mean, there's just a whole bunch of variables here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you wrote it in the will. Why don't you write it down with us, and then we'll have it on file. That way, when it happens, this is what mom or this is what dad wanted. They didn't want y'all to spend a lot. This is what they picked out. Here you go. And you can go one step above that, and you can go ahead and pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Pay today's prices for something you're going to need way down the road. I mean, that's pretty smart money right there.
Yeah, I agree, man. Well, Billy, I appreciate you, buddy. I do, man. You've been a great friend to me, and we need to hang out more than just on this show. We always say that, but you've been a good friend to me, and
you want to come work at the funeral home this weekend?
Hey, I'm on standby for services. You know that y'all bless me with and it does. It really does. It blesses me more than you know, because I get to talk to the families.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something about sitting down with those. I see why the folks now that are in the business, there's a lot that you got to go through, but there's tremendous satisfaction, and it's because you get to help families through a difficult time.
We got some pretty cool people here in Walker County. Once you get to sit down and just talk to them,
and that's what it's about. It's about helping the families. I mean, I've been privileged to do a few services for y'all, and that is the most joyful thing. In the midst of sorrow is getting to love on those families and then communicating with those families after it's over. There's several of the families that I've stayed in contact with, and once a month I'll send a text and ask them how they're doing. And, there's something about that I think that we're called to do is to love on people and love on them, not just when it's good. Because, man, it's easy to, that's my buddy right there. And he's doing great. And I've experienced that at some levels, in my career. And then whenever you move off of that platform, quote unquote, that you were on, and then all of a sudden you don't hear from people anymore. It's because they wanted to hang out with you while you were there, but that guy don't benefit me anymore. I ain't going to talk to him anymore. And I don't want to be like that, man. I told Jason Bay here at the church the other day, I said, man, if I need to be wherever I need to be, you put me. If it's behind the scenes, I don't need to be doing announcements on a Sunday. If you want me, I'll keep doing it, obviously. I'm not telling them I don't want to do whatever, but the Lord says, here I am. Here he is. Here we are. Lord, use us however you see fit. And one last sports analogy, I thought about this. Manu Ginobili for the Spurs came off the bench, and they won 4 championships under him. I think champions are built when you come off the bench. Think about today, the things that you're doing, and maybe you're depressed because you feel like, you know what, I'm not the captain of the team. You don't need to be the captain of the team. God has you right where you're at for a reason. Come off the bench and serve him and let him work in your life. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sometimes the unpopular option is the best option.
It is.
Yep.
And the reward isn't on this earth. Yep. You know this, but the reward comes when we're in heaven. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait for the day, because the enemy beats me up sometimes and says, well, you had a chance to lead that man to the Lord, but you didn't walk him through the sinner's prayer. That thought pops into my head all the time. Sometimes we're not called to lead somebody all the way. We're just here to scatter the seed. Mm-hmm. And if that opportunity presents itself, do it. But I think when we get to heaven one day, there's going to be people that are going to show up, and for all of us, that we're going to say, where did that? And that person's going to come up to us and say, you planted a seed you never even knew about. You said hi to me. And that saved my life. I woke up that morning thinking about taking my life, and because you said hi to me, it gave me a whole different outlook on life. You got to start thinking deep about this stuff, friends, because the simplest things that you do make the biggest difference. So, anyways, that's my final thought, Billy. All right, Bandera Grill, noon. Come eat a good chicken fried steak or whatever you want, because it's all good.
Ribeye's out of sight,
Yeah.
And purple whole peas, I love purple whole peas, and they got them.
What is purple whole pea?
It's like a black pea type thing, but it's called a purple whole.
Could you put it with the mashed potatoes, and is it a good mashed potato mix?
For sure, yeah, absolutely.
Mashed potato mix and pea.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, their salad's pretty good too. So.
Cold bowl. I did have the salad, cold bowl. So
yeah, you're not going to get that at the McDonald's.
Yeah, that's right, man. Well, hey, we love you. Appreciate Jamie hanging out with us here in the studio. Always so joyful, man. I'm so thankful. Thankful for this week. Y'all be safe. go to weather.gov, keep up with the weather. Also, the Walker County OEM app, they'll get you up at 2 a.m. if they need to. So you will get those alerts.
They will stay on top of the notifications.
They will. Hey, we'll wrap it up with that. Big thank you to Billy Cauthen, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, also Marshall Altum. I appreciate him sharing that story of faith today. We needed to hear that. For Billy, I'm Rob Hipp reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. I promise that somebody out there needs you. Until then, hopefully we'll see you at noon. Bandera Grill. The ice ain't going to be here. It may not even be here at all. Who knows? But we'll see you later. Good morning, Huntsville. God bless. See you, Billy. Thank you.
See y'all.